Thank you very much, and good afternoon, or I guess it's still morning. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and on behalf of the National Science Foundation, I would like to express my gratitude to Congressman Rogers for inviting the National Science Foundation to be a part of this great initiative, and to thank Governor Bevin for his great efforts to strengthen Kentucky's economy and invest in that one truly indispensable ingredient for growth, people. People are the cornerstone of our nation's scientific endeavor as well. The discoveries, the new technologies that lead to better quality of life, the industries that come out of basic scientific research, and the next generations that will be open to the inspiration of science. None of this is possible without scientists, engineers, educators, and entrepreneurs, as well as parents, business leaders, and community members who recognize the critical role that education and learning play throughout our lives, and I understand fully how critical that point of view is to the SOAR enterprise. People are the common denominator when it comes to success, and NSF understands this.
This is about discovery,
pushing the edge of the known,
changing the way we live.
Did you ever use a CD, cell phone, barcode, that thing they call the internet?
Maybe a touchscreen, LED lights, a web browser, GPS.
Ever get an MRI, do a Google search, check a weather forecast?
Every one of those things was improved on or made possible by fundamental research supported by the National Science Foundation.
And there's also 3D printing, laser eye surgery, safer cars.
New biomedical tools, improved disaster preparedness.
Even disease-resistant bees.
Today, NSF supports people and places to develop tomorrow's scientists and engineers.
And create new knowledge in fields from A to Z.
To help us understand our world, solve societal challenges, spur innovation, and improve our lives.
The National Science Foundation supports fundamental research,
insights,
ideas,
breakthroughs
that ultimately create jobs and help drive our economy,
enhance our nation's security,
and advance our knowledge to keep us a global leader.
What really causes economic growth is it's always innovation. So how do we get more of it? We invest in basic research. That's as simple as that.
NSF is the only federal agency that supports fundamental basic research and education across all fields of science and engineering. We're responsible for being the funding source for 24% of the federally supported basic research conducted by America's colleges and universities, including right here in Kentucky and the wider Appalachian region. NSF's mission to promote the progress of science, to advance the national health, prosperity, and welfare, to secure the national defense, aligns with the goals of SOAR and Eastern Kentucky. As you saw in the video, NSF investments in basic research have paid handsome dividends over the decades, impacting our society in very real ways. Many of these have spawned new industries, such as 3D printing. To stay at the forefront of discovery, however, and to remain competitive in a world that is rapidly changing, NSF also invests in people. A number of NSF's programs are designed to cultivate a workforce that is prepared for the challenges and opportunities that exist now and those that lie ahead. Kentucky and Greater Appalachia have been partners in many of these programs. Last year, Kentucky received more than $31 million in funding from the National Science Foundation. Over the past decade, 17 of the state's universities and colleges secured more than $230 million in NSF funding for research and programs. It's very competitive to get funding from the National Science Foundation. We fund only about 25% of the proposals that are submitted. The impressive record in the state of Kentucky speaks to the great ideas coming from the Commonwealth's scientists and educators. Many of those great ideas are reflected in the SOAR Regional Blueprint. Your blueprint talks about developing a workforce that is competitive in the digital economy and in other emerging industries. I want to talk to you a little bit about the many NSF programs that are designed to help states build and expand that critical resource, this notion of the workforce, which SOAR's success depends upon. One of our initiatives, the Advanced Technological Education Program, for example, focuses on preparing technicians for high technology jobs with an emphasis on two-year colleges. In 2016 and in preceding years, several community colleges in Kentucky have partnered, designed projects to build a 21st century workforce, and successfully won funds from this NSF program. For instance, a newly funded Somerset County Community College Somerset Community College project seeks to stimulate both technological growth in additive manufacturing or 3D printing and the employability of technician graduates into high-wage positions. That project was able to leverage its results into a small rural business development technical assistance grant with the USDA. As we know, the ability to offer potential employers a highly skilled technological workforce is attractive to new industry. Industries like Brady Industries certainly know the value of a skilled workforce. Brady's $1.3 billion aluminum mill in South Shore will create hundreds of advanced manufacturing jobs. Other projects in Kentucky have received NSF support as well. In 1978, NSF launched the experimental program to stimulate competitive research. It's called EPSCoR. And EPSCoR focuses on enhancing the research, education, and technology capabilities of states that have traditionally received smaller amounts of federal R&D funds. And Congressman Rogers has been a staunch supporter of the EPSCoR program, and we appreciate that. States like Kentucky and West Virginia were some of the first to apply for EPSCoR funding, and over the decades, Kentucky's state government, academic institution, and industries have partnered with NSF to build a strong science and technology research backbone. Most recently, in 2014, Kentucky competed successfully and was awarded a $20 million 5-year EPSCoR grant. That statewide project will upgrade the state's research infrastructure and help transition Kentucky toward a new energy economy. It's called Powering the Kentucky Bioeconomy for a Sustainable Future. The project will, among other things, focus on training a modern, resilient STEM workforce, mentoring and recruiting women and first-generation college students, as well as rural and low-income students. When we turn to SOAR's blueprint goal of creating and expanding small businesses in the region, this is also an area where NSF can contribute and has done so already. There's a bevy of small startup businesses in Kentucky, some of which you see on this slide, that have received NSF support through our Small Business Innovation Research Program. Burt Thin Films, for example, is helping to make the solar industry more affordable by developing less expensive pastes, using copper instead of the more volatile commodity silver to coat solar cells, and building on fundamental research in materials science. Advanced Energy Materials works to remove sulfur compounds from transportation fuels, reducing sulfur in the air. Luminari created technology that would make LED lights 20 to 40% brighter per unit of input power, helping reduce power consumption. Interestingly, Luminari was originally based in Silicon Valley, but moved its operation to Kentucky because the state was willing to match federal dollars 1-to-1 for this NSF-funded business. That's a truly unique example of state and federal collaboration. Of course, all of these investments are in addition to NSF's more traditional support of basic research. That basic research provides the training grounds for tomorrow's scientists, technicians, and engineers. That next generation is important, and the world around us has changed. Technology has transformed our personal spaces and our workplaces. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotics, and the Internet of Things all are now a part of this new human technology frontier. It's changed how we produce goods, provide services, and collaborate with colleagues. It's even changed how we interact with our friends and our families. NSF has identified this area, the human technology frontier, as one of our 10 big ideas. If the new technologies coming online are to foster, not diminish, job growth and economic development, our workers will need durable, STEM-based skills and a lifelong enthusiasm for learning that ensures resiliency. Even though STEM jobs have been growing since the 60s and are projected to keep growing, studies reveal a worrying lack of proficiency in STEM among our students, with countries such as China and Singapore passing us by. Employers lament that too few applicants have the STEM skills needed to fill positions. So in this new era, STEM competency is not just desirable, but essential. And people of all ages must have opportunities to continue to access STEM learning and be inspired, and to learn new skills like coding that can affect new opportunities over their careers. It's a lifelong learning focus. Kentucky has been very proactive in addressing this need with a series of collaborative initiatives over several decades that the state has launched that have led to success. These partnerships, such as the Appalachian Rural Systemic Initiative in the 90s, the Appalachian Math and Science Partnership, PIMSR, now based at Eastern Kentucky University, and SOAR. These collaborations that bring together multiple sectors are unique in many ways to the state of Kentucky and show such promise for progress. It's really an impressive effort. These are the pathways that Kentuckians, and Eastern Kentuckians in particular, have forged through collaboration and boldness. They will ensure that this region is both a driver and beneficiary of economic development and job growth. I'd like to make one last point about the future of STEM, and again, this is an NSF big idea. Our society is diverse. Our investments in the next generation must nurture all talent, regardless of gender, race, ethnicity, disability, or socioeconomic background. A future discovery or an answer to a problem can come from anywhere, and we as educators, business leaders, government leaders need to be open to that possibility. Our newly launched NSF Includes program aims to address this challenge. It's a lot like SOAR. It uses the principles of collective impact, networked communities, and strategic partnerships. And one of the first awards in the Includes program went to Kentucky State University, which is partnering to focus on the advancement of minority males in science and engineering. So in closing, the goals outlined in the SOAR blueprint are both ambitious and certainly achievable as I come to understand the incredible energy and commitment across this region. When the partners work together in creative ways, you will be able to make the changes that you seek, and I congratulate SOAR for this incredible effort. As you move forward and pursue your goals and your agenda for greater growth and prosperity in this region, be assured that the National Science Foundation will continue to support and serve as a valuable partner in that effort. Together, we can build on the extraordinary strengths of this great region, and we're honored to be working with you. Thank you very much.